So probably as most of you Smash Bros fans know, Mewtwo has already been released as a DLC character for Smash Wii U. And many people expected there to be more DLC, including me, and that is most definitely true as Lucas has been confirmed for June. Now that the new fighter poll has been released, confirming even more DLC past Lucas, which just completely makes me want to explode in happiness, I decided to make a top 10 list of the most wanted characters in Smash Bros DLC. Keep in mind that this list is compiled a lot out of my preferences. Some characters were exceptions due to just how much requests there were from fans, and so I put a few that weren't really my preferences, so I put them in. But anyways, don't freak out when your character isn't in there. Don't be like, oh my gosh, my character, no! So I put this character so high on the list because, as I mentioned before, this is more out of my preferences, and this character isn't really my preference. It's just he's been wanted by a lot of people. And I just decided to put him here because of that fact. And I think Kirby games need a new character in Smash Bros. And he seems like a great addition. I pretty much know absolutely nothing about this character, but he just reminds me of a cuter and cooler Kirby. Plus he's a ninja, so that automatically wins a plus. So this is the character that I myself really want in the game. But the reason why I put her so high on the list is because it's just too unlikely, and I think I should put the more likely characters higher up. You guys might argue, oh, there's Zero Suit, but one of Bayonetta's most popular moves is she loses her clothing. Like, she has a move that she loses all of her clothing. Yeah, they don't show nudity at all, like, they just imply that she's naked, but, like, you can't do that. This game is rated E10, that's just not gonna happen. I've also never really played a Bayonetta game. It's just Bayonetta is a really neat character, and I just think her moveset would really fit well in a Smash Bros game. It's just, I don't think it's gonna happen because, you know, nudity, no, E10, nah, no, just no. Now, Crystal would just be a really cool character in the game, and I know I'm not the first one to say it. Many people have been voting for her. I myself considered voting for her, but I don't know, I only put in 2 votes, so you guys will know who it is later. I would put her higher on the list, but I just think that she's going to get ignored because it's almost 99% guaranteed that Wolf is going to come back because of so many people freaking out and going, bring freaking Wolf back! And I understand that because he was such a cool character in Brawl. But this is why I didn't bother putting Wolf on the list in case you guys freak out because I do believe that Wolf deserves to be in the game as well. But I just really doubt that they'd put Wolf as DLC and then later on have another Star Fox character as DLC too. I mean, she would be a great addition though, and I really wouldn't mind 2 Star Fox DLC characters. Maybe make it a Star Fox DLC pack for Smash, like put Crystal and Wolf in the same game, like in one pack, downloadable content, make it even more expensive. I don't know, just cool. That'd be a cool pack, like freaking mind freaking blown. Oh my gosh, I'm a genius. Now the only reason I put Isaac this high is because I don't know much about him. So this ultimately resulted in me wanting him less than others. I just can't ignore the amount of people that have been begging for him to come to the game. Heck, Project M is getting him in, so I don't understand why Smash 4 can't have it. I mean, if Project M is listening to the fans, I think that Sakurai, you gotta listen to your fans as well. I've never really played a Golden Sun game. I've kind of messed with them a little bit. But with all these people talking about Isaac, maybe someday I'll get around to playing an entire Golden Sun game. It's definitely intriguing to me now because of how much he's loved, and I know he'd be a really cool character with a moveset he'd have. He'd be kind of similar to Robin, I think, but even more different than that, so he wouldn't be just a copy of Robin, but yeah.
Samus is under fire. She sent an emergency directive. Join the fight.
Since I first played Metroid Hunters and I saw this super frickin' BA cool bounty hunter thing, I said, he needs to be in Smash Bros. I mean, 2 Metroid characters just isn't enough, especially when it's such a good and popular series. I myself want him really bad in Smash Bros, but I know other people will disagree, so that's why he's number 6. But I mean, seriously, just freaking look at him. He's like, he'd just basically be the coolest character in Smash Bros ever. That's what I'm trying to say. So now I know that since you saw my 5th slot, a lot of you are probably saying,
No! Too many Pokemons!
And I would definitely agree, because I mean there is already 6 in the game. But first of all, Pokemon is not only one of Nintendo's biggest selling franchises, but it's one of the biggest all-around selling video game franchises out there. So it wouldn't hurt to add another Pokemon because, I mean, it's more advertising for Pokemon. I mean, their sales have been going down, so it would help the game as well. I chose Sceptile because ultimately he's probably my favorite starter, him or Blaziken or Infernape, but I really don't want any of those two Pokemon in the game. But I chose Sceptile because we don't have any grass types yet, and since we have fire, we have water. Now I think we need to see a grass type because, I mean, you gotta have all three in the starter list of those three types. And along with all the reasons I stated, their most recent game was Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, which was the region that Sceptile exists in, so it wouldn't be outdated either due to the fact that their newest game is something he's in. So I mean, that would be kind of useful too. I'm not sure how well Oraz did. I don't know if they had good sales or not, but ultimately, just freaking Sceptile, be in the game. I love you. When you look at the roster, we technically only have 3 Zelda characters, since the other 2 are just the same character, but they look different. Plus with that, Zelda, like Mario and Pokemon, is one of the biggest franchises too, so having a 6th character wouldn't do anything wrong. So I think Impa would be the best addition, since she is actually one of the longest running characters in the series behind Link and Zelda, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe she's existed longer than even Ganondorf has. Of course, in each game, she looks completely different. So the Impa I want in the game is the Hyrule Warriors Impa. In Hyrule Warriors, she was always one of my favorite characters, and her giant sword would be so freaking cool. Along with the super awesome sword, she could have, in Hyrule Warriors, she has a water, like, elemental stuff, so you could have, like, some of her B attacks using her water abilities, or she can maybe have a cool thing, kind of similar to Monato's, in which maybe you hold B button to charge up her sword longer, and it powers up her sword to make it, like, charged with water. I don't know. I think that'd be a really cool, neat addition to a character that most characters don't really have in the game. I just think she would be a really awesome character in Smash Bros. Vote for Impa! So many of you guys that watch probably any of my videos, any of my Smash videos, would know that I love Ray. And I've talked about him just so much and how freaking good an addition he would be. I think he'd be a faster, more melee-based Mega Man. Plus, he looks even cooler than Mega Man. He looks like he'd be the coolest looking freaking character in the game, and I would use him all the time, and I would main him immediately if he came in the game. I also think that Custom Robo has never gotten enough appreciation, and adding Ray would get people to look at those games again. Because Custom Robo for the GameCube was one of my favorite games ever, and one of the games I probably have the most hours total in. There's a lot of Rays in the game to choose from, but I ultimately decided on Ray 01. Any of them would work and satisfy me. Let's not forget that most of you guys will probably say, well, he has his trophy. Well, it doesn't exist in this game. Wait. Any of you guys who know me probably expected me to put him at the #1 slot. I probably would have too, but there's a reason. I will explain why he didn't make it there later, but for Paper Mario, it's such a popular series. Well, at least the Thousand Year Door and everything that's below Sticker Star. But he would just be so unique. With the partner mechanic, he could work a lot like the Pokemon trainer did, in that each partner he pulls out could do something different on a special moves. And if it's not that, then you could make it like majority of his moves uses partners from all the games, like all the smash attacks he could use a partner, or maybe his side smash could be his like power smash from the Thousand Year Door, and like his special attacks could be using each partner from a different game. Well, except for Sticker Star, of course.
Because they don't exist!
Each one of those options for his moves would make him, no question, one of the most unique characters in the game. So yeah, I would cry for a day straight if he was confirmed. So King K. Rool is why Paper Mario did not make the #1 spot. I personally would prefer Paper Mario over King K. Rool, but I have to say that King K is probably the most wanted newcomer in the game right now, behind like Wolf, but of course Wolf wasn't a newcomer, so and I believe it was like 4chan or someone like that. I don't know who it was, but they did a poll to see who all voted for what character as like in early results, and in those results, King K was the #1 voted character in both America and Japan. So I'd say he's pretty much confirmed to be the Smash Bros. Character that comes out of this fire ballot first, unless something weird just happens and like Banjo just gets all this weird news coming from it. But even then, I don't think he'll make it because he's just not enough Nintendo love from him. And due to all of that stuff is why he made it to #1 slot, because so many people want it. And it only makes sense because Donkey Kong is a very popular and a huge franchise. So to have only 2 characters doesn't make much sense. So why not add the villain of the game? That'd just be really cool. And I do not want Dixie Kong. No Dixie Kong. So that was my top 10 most wanted characters. So I'm sure a lot of you guys might disagree with a few of the characters I added in this list. So who would you want in the game? And be sure to leave in the comments below. And because I'd love to hear what you guys think about it. And no hard feelings if you disagree with my list, because I'm sure some of you will. While you're down there, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It helps out a ton. And let me know if I should do more top 10s like this in the future. And until then, peace.